Good afternoon, everyone. This is Queenie Clem with Queenie's Book Talk and Reviews, and I am your literary ambassador. And today I have Deidre Bastian on my channel today. Welcome, welcome, welcome.
Welcome, Queenie. I am so happy to finally be here. I feel honored to be a part of this show. And I want to say thank you again for the invite.
You're welcome. You're welcome. Tell us a little about yourself.
Well, my name is Deidre Bastian. I was born in Nassau, Bahamas. I am a mother of two adult children and also a grandmother of a 6-year-old. I am a former employee of the Bahamas Telephone Company, and I have a career path in graphic design and brand marketing. I am also a 12-year columnist of the Tribune, and I have decided to publish a book after years and years of contemplation. I have also recently joined a team of counselors to become a certified life coach. And before I forget, I am also a child of God. I'm also a primary school volunteer reader. Nonetheless, I find immense joy from gardening, lightweight lifting, and spending time with my granddaughter.
Wow. Wow. All right. What genre do you write in?
The genre that I write in is motivation. I am an influencer by heart. I'm passionate about um, helping people to find a happier life. That's my genre.
Okay. Now tell us about your book.
Okay, my book, basically, the name of my book is called Unplug. Right here. Unplug, take back your power. I refer to this book as a power-packed little engine with short and potent chapters that are very captivating. This book uses psychological theories, spiritual wisdom, real life examples, and most of all, common sense. I seek to convince readers to conduct a deeper introspection of their lives and to fight harder against adversities such as unhappiness, betrayal, rejection, self-neglect, grief, loneliness, and unforgiveness. And let's not forget toxic people.
Yes.
This book is certainly a must-have. It has one mission assignment only, and that is to influence the minds of readers to take a second look at their lives and rid themselves of old, exhausting lifestyles or behaviors that no longer serves them.
Oh, wow. Would you like to read a snippet from your book?
Certainly. I had a page 72. Okay, the chapter that I'm going to be reading from, it's called Grow Through the Hurt. This is one of my favorite chapters, so I'll read just a little snippet. It says, hurt and pain can be easily shielded. We smile for long hours throughout the day, while under the smiles, the pain and the sorrow cry out for help. Agony and pain are no respecters of person or culture. The good, the bad, the ugly, the poor, and the rich, all are affected. Some people have accepted their experiences, embraced their weaknesses, and risen courageously from the pain that tries to keep them captivated. Some people fought hard against a place that they knew they did not belong, but they won the war. They became stronger and better and found peace. How did they do this? They acknowledged that they are fallible human beings who make mistakes. They challenged the status quo. He who is without sin cast the first stone, and they defied the odds. Surely, if we wish to live in this world with any degree of peace, we must learn how to deal with hurt, especially when it constantly reminds us of a larger story in our life.
Wow.
That is very dear to me, very dear, because there's a lot of people who are hurting. And
Yes, yes. Um, Tell me about your publishing journey.
okay, my publishing journey was an interesting one, Queenie, because I feel that this book is prophetic by nature. I was told by a prophet who's known as Prophet DeMarco Grant. Listening to his one of his podcasts, he called me out and he told me that, among other things, he told me that I would write a book and it would become a bestseller. Well, unbeknown to him, I had already started to gather small bits and pieces of writings and motivational quotes and, things that were very provoking, that invoked, um, a challenge in me. And since he had said that and revealed that to me, that was a stimulus for me to take out all of my little black dusty books, and I started from there. I started from there. It was a wow moment for me because I just collected these pieces and I had no idea what I was going to do with them. And, when he said, Deidre Bastian, you will write a book and it will become a best. Queenie, I've written the book, but I'm still looking for the bestseller. So that is where my journey started, from a prophetic voice.
Okay. What do you think your role is in the writing community?
I think that my role in the writing community has has started actually from a child. My mother, who has passed, she would allow me to bring kids on her porch, like after school, after 3 o'clock, and I would have play school. I would teach the kids how to read and how to write. So I feel that my gift for writing did not just start it as an adult. I think it had started since I was a teenager because I always had a passion for writing and influencing and speaking to persons about um, situations that are going on in their lives. I was always the go-to person. So I feel like this book that I have written actually gave me a voice to to that resonates with what happens around us every day. Yeah.
What do you consider to be your best accomplishment thus far?
My best accomplishment to date, I would say, let me say this. So far, since I have written this book, I have started to market this book before it was actually published. Being a graphic designer, I started to construct posters and I started to market the book. So persons expected the book before it even hit the market. And when it did go on the market after being published, right away they began to read it. And I have gotten rave reviews vocally and written that the book is a must have. And they have said that, you know, they have bought books for other persons and the sentiments was the same. So I feel that the accomplishment from writing this book in particular is it's the joy that I feel in my heart it gives me a very humbling feeling to know that persons are impacted by what I've written.
What do you think about the future of reading and writing?
I think that the future of reading and writing is, is important. There's no way around it. Presently, I am also a volunteer reader for primary school children. Not only do I go to read to them, I was also a part of a platform that taught children how to read. So after being a part of those platforms, it has taught me how important it is. And most time it really breaks my heart. At one point I started to cry because I realized that kids are not able to pass exams if they can't read.
Mm-hmm.
They can't pick up a book if they can't read. They can't go to the stores to read a label properly that says it's poisonous if they can't read. So I think that reading is very dear to me, and that is why I have availed myself to any doors or any opportunity that would have me to teach kids how to read.
Okay. What has been the toughest criticism you have had being an author?
Well, with this being my first book, I'll be honest and tell you, I don't know if the criticisms are in the mail, but all of my reviews so far were, were good. All of them.
Oh, okay.
Yes. And yeah.
When did you first realize you wanted to be an author?
I never realized that I wanted to be an author. All I knew that I wanted to read books and I wanted to find a platform to impact persons. But reading a book was never in the cards. I remember my mom, she said that either I would be a nurse or a school teacher. She said that, and I don't know if she was joking with that, but I never thought that I would be a school teacher. That was never a part of my card, you know. But even though I'm dealing with children, but I don't, uh, I don't see myself as a school teacher or a nurse. I just want to look at myself as somebody who can use my gift in a small way to impact the world.
The title of your book, what does that mean?
Unplug, take back your power. This book is very powerful, very, very powerful. Like I said, this book is prophetic in its making and by design. Unplug means that despite the adversities that come against us every day, at some point in our life, we have to find time to unplug away from all of what is going on around us and find time for ourselves. At some point, we have to realize that it is not selfish to be unselfish when it comes to ourselves. There's a chapter in my book that is called pouring from an empty cup. Pouring from an empty cup. And we often do this because we wanna be all things to all men. We wanna not worry about unplugging or taking time for ourselves, taking a walk along the beach. We just want to help persons, but we have to ensure that our cup is filled so that we will have adequate amount to pour into someone else. So this book, Unplug, was not a difficult title to find because of the contents and the passion thrown behind it.
What has been the hardest thing about writing this book?
The hardest thing about writing this book, I'd say, is just starting. Like I said, excuse me, I had the prophetic, I had the prophecy, I had bits and bits of pieces thrown around in different books, but I just couldn't find the time to start. And one day I got up and I said, I gotta make this happen. And once I started, I there was no turning back. And I know the power in procrastination. Being a graphic designer, I know the sacrifice. I know the labor of being up at nights until 3, 4 o'clock in the morning designing. So once I got into writing, I was mentally conditioned because of my career path. Writing this is a joke, Queenie, to designing and staying up late at nights with a deadline. With this here, I somehow could pace myself, but when you are designing for a person who has a deadline, that calls for a lot of late nights. So patience and starting was the difficult yeah.
What's the best way you think is to market your book? What has been the best way to market your books?
Well, before the COVID-19 pandemic came along, like I say, my book was very successful in marketing. I got many books sold, right up to persons wanting to buy. When they came to buy one book, they ended up buying like 3, 4 books for a gift for a friend or for a spouse. So my book basically was marketed on Facebook. I now has just recently put up a Facebook page. But I had to put a face to the book.
Mm-hmm.
But I didn't have a chance to launch my book because of the COVID-19 situation, but I do have intentions of following up where I left off. So I didn't really have a chance to market it properly, but the book has been selling. And the book is now it's in the bookstores in Nassau as well. So the books are being sold in the bookstores in Nassau.
Okay. What are you currently reading right now?
Right now, well, off and on, I have been just writing.
Oh,
But in the past, I have been reading books from a famous author that you might be familiar with. He has passed now, and he's the son of the soil that I am on, and his name is Dr. Miles Monroe. He's an influencer, he's a teacher, he's a pastor. He was actually, and I have been reading a lot of his books for inspiration for myself. I find that as you mature, and this is my view, as you mature, you tend to look a little deeper. You tend to find books that are stimulating, and I find that reading his books are dear to my heart and they are very stimulating. So I've been reading a lot of Dr. Miles Monroe's book.
what projects are you working on right now?
Right now, I'm working on a project to do with children, but it's not a book as of now. I'm not writing another book right now. I'm giving myself chance to breathe, but I'm working on a project. And as soon as this project hits the market, you'd be the first to know. I'll be on the show.
Where can readers find you and your book?
Okay. I have a presence on Facebook. It's called Unplug, Take Back Your Power. My book is also on Amazon, and my book is also in Logos Bookstore, and it's in the publishing store, the publisher, One Rib Publishing. They are the publishers for my book. So my book is everywhere, everywhere.
All right. Yeah. Is there anything else you would like to add before we close?
I would just like to encourage anybody who is thinking of writing a book. Um, I would say to them, don't be discouraged. Write the book that you desperately would like to read and believe entirely in the story that you want to tell. No one else sees the world quite the same as you. Most of all, keep a notebook nearby, as sleep has a way of creating new ideas and stealing them away from you very quickly. But remember that big words or large vocabulary is not necessary, but use small words, but use it in a creative way. The more you practice, the better you'll become. Don't let the fear of bad reviews discourage you. Likewise, don't spend your time comparing your life to others. Don't do that, because your vision need only to make sense to you and you alone. Get the book, get a copy. You'll never think the same.
And can we see the copy? Can we see the cover of the book one more time? All right. Thank you so much. And that was very encouraging words. I really appreciate that.
Thank you very much for having me, Queenie. I appreciate it. I'm honored to be on this show. And I pray God's blessing that other authors would see the need to come on and promote their book. This is a good way to do it. This is a very good way to come on and let the world know what is happening with you and your book. And I am so glad that you've given me the opportunity to and a voice to express myself. Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. This is Queenie Clem with Queenie's Book Talk and Reviews. Happy reading. Bye, y'all.
Bye-bye. Have a good day.